Hi, everybody. Welcome into today's show here on JTV. I'm David Rice. It is a Monday.
It feels like a Monday.
Yeah.
Not a victory Monday, unfortunately, for the Green Bay Packers.
Well, the bright spot is that we can thank the Insurance Circle Agency.
That's right. We definitely can.
In Pataki Orthodontics.
Yep.
888-5027, myinsuranceCircle.com. Besides that, happy Monday.
Hey, happy Monday. We're speeding through January, I feel like, already.
Today's the 13th.
I know, it's already halfway through almost.
I feel like I just got back from Florida, and we got back on the 2nd, and now it's the 13th.
Wow.
So, we'll get to the NFL playoffs coming up. The rest of the games weren't really entertaining besides Washington. The other wild card games weren't entertaining either.
You know what's funny? The Chargers Texans game, it was entertaining, but it was not good football because it was just stuff all over the place.
Well, that's because Justin Herbert is just the Chargers are like our team.
Yeah.
I tell you what, we did have a good high school girls basketball game.
That was good. That was a fun game.
It was. We'll get to that in a second. The new rankings came out from the Basketball Coaches Association of Michigan. Of course, teams that aren't members of the association don't get ranked. So if you're wondering before, like Grass Lake beat Center last week, why wasn't Michigan Center in the top 10, or why wasn't somebody else in the top 10? That's probably why, if I had to take a guess. But you know, Adam, we still have 5 teams in our area ranked in the top 10 across the divisions.
Do you have those teams?
I do. Division 2, the Western Panthers are number 8 in the 10. Division 3, the Grass Lake Warriors are now number 1.
Wow.
And we'll get to their 2 huge wins that they just had Thursday and the weekend because of that. And a team that they are on the same side of the Cascades Conference with, Leslie, is number 4 in the state. And you know what? Leslie plays at Grass Lake Thursday night this week.
Wow, that's a big game on Thursday.
First and second place in the Cascades East, number 1 versus number 4 in the state.
Woo!
I will be there.
Oh, nice.
Me and Jeff Steers will be there Thursday
Nice.
night.
There you go.
That
the
is
dream team.
Going to be yes, we're the F team. That is going to be a packed gym, and then it's going to be loud, and it's going to be a great game.
Oh yeah.
I was telling Noah earlier. Of course, that was a great game for us to do Thursday. I wish we would do this game Thursday though.
Yeah. That is it. I forgot. Did you say at Leslie or?
It is at Grass Lake.
Oh, at Grass Lake. Okay.
So Leslie's number 4 in D3. Lumen, the girls, are number 8 in Division 3. We will see them this Friday. More on that later. And the Yellow Jackets from the Concord in D4, number 8. So 5 teams in the area ranked.
That's awesome.
I know. And Lumen is the only boys team ranked. They're now number 1 in the state. So we have both the number 1 boys and girls team in the state in our area.
In D3 as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll see the number 1 boys Lumen Christie Titans Friday at 7 o'clock on JTV, and then the girls at 5:30 before. So a little bit more on that coming up before we go to break. But speaking of the game Thursday, was live on JTV. The Grass Lake girls defeated Michigan Center 56-46. Center was undefeated, 6-0 going into it, and we had talked about that, us and Brandon, before the game, and now Grass Lake was 3-3. But going into it, their 3 losses were Country Day, Lumen, and the number 1 team, Chelsea, now in Division 2. They only lost to them by 3. So GL won by 10. I expected it to be a little bit closer. Now, Center had a few baskets at the end. They made it 10 points. Mm-hmm. But when it started out after the first time out, when it was like 11-2 or 3, I'm like, this is not what we expected at all. You know what I mean?
Well, and then, the only reason, like you said, that it ended up being this close of a game was just because I feel like Michigan Center went on like a 12-0 run or something like that at the end of the game.
They had a little run for a minute or two in the fourth, and the closest they got was 6. and that was it.
That's right. It did get to 6, and then they kind of were able to get away with free throws and stuff. But I mean, that game shouldn't have been that close. By the end of the third quarter, I definitely didn't think it was going to get within 6.
Right. So they handed Michigan Center their first loss of the year, and now Grass Lake on Saturday went to Westland to John Glenn to take on Detroit Renaissance, undefeated Division I Renaissance, and beat them in overtime, 53-49. So Grass Lake is 5-3, but they have wins against conference rival Michigan Center, who was undefeated. D1 Detroit Renaissance only lost to Country Day by a few, and only lost to D2 Chelsea by a couple. So they keep playing like this, they're going to be at the Breslin Center. And they won the state championship a few years ago.
Right, I remember.
I remember going there because it was still during COVID. Remember when they played with the mask on?
That's right.
Not getting into our thoughts on wearing a mask, but I thought it was stupid playing with it. I'm sorry.
That was tough. I felt so bad for the kids. I remember saying
how can you breathe?
Times. Yeah, I remember saying that multiple times. Like, I felt bad for any kid that had to play a game like basketball with cardio and stuff like that. And it's like they have to have a face mask on.
And in that state championship game for Grass Lake, they only had one player on their bench play for a few minutes. So that entire starting 5 played the entire game too.
Wow.
And then the Grass Lake boys also on their side of basketball defeated Michigan Center on Friday. Grass Lake came in 8-0. Their only huge win, against another great team, was Hanover before that. Michigan Center came in 9-1. They lost their very first game of the year and then won 9 in a row. So a huge matchup coming in. Grass Lake beat Center at GL 39-34 in a low-scoring game. You're going to have a few of those games in a season. Football, too. One of those lower-scoring, ugly games where you got to get a win, and that's exactly what happened. So, could Grass Lake boys also end up at the Breslin Center? Both boys
nuts.
And girls?
That'd be so
Has
crazy.
that happened before, at least in our area? That'd be a Noah Baker question.
I was going to say, when
if the
next
boys
time
and girls have ever made it.
Next time I talk to Noah, I'll ask him because he must know.
So highlights from the girls' game are on our website, and then pictures from the boys' game at jtv.tv. So Jackson College has an upcoming event, the 2025 JC Sportsman's Banquet. Community members are invited to an evening of raffles and prizes for those who enjoy the outdoors. You can win that electric bike.
They still have guns. I assume you can still win some guns.
Yes.
Hey.
People here in our building have won guns before.
Multiple people.
Yeah.
Multiple.
Remember I told you who it was?
Yeah, that's funny. That was a funny one.
So the raffle starts at 5:15, and then dinner is 6:30. So proceeds benefit the Jackson College Jets baseball team. Great event always to go to. We always have a few people from JTV there. So
and photos and all that stuff.
Right. So basketball real quick here before the break of tomorrow night we'll be at Jackson High. I will not be on the call. I have other work engagements happening.
Yes, you do.
And
you have a date at the city council chambers.
Don't remind me.
Oh, sorry.
So we have a good crew though. It'll be Matt Kibbe and Sir Patrick O'Dowd.
Look at that. Patrick O'Dowd fresh off of a Notre Dame Fighting Irish win, so he's probably jazzed up.
He's lucky we don't have a live game on Monday the 20th for the national championship.
I would hope Noah would book him on that day.
Yeah. So we'll be at J High tomorrow night against Pinckney, SEC White Conference matchup. And then that Lumen doubleheader Friday, the girls at 5:30, led by, a whole great starting 5 at Lumen. But, of course, everyone always talks about the freshman Kenna Hunt from Lumen, 6 Division I offers, #1 freshman in the state. So we'll get a chance to watch her and the Titans at 5:30 Friday. They take on Dearborn Divine Child, a Catholic League opponent. So it's a conference game, too. And then the boys at 7 taking on Macomb Lutheran Northern. So should be 2 good games Friday. Myself and Max Fritz back together Friday.
Hey, let's go.
So And I won't have to worry about missing any of my team's games.
Man, don't worry. We'll talk later about this. You'll be able to get it all out then. We almost need a whole segment just dedicated to this.
Hey, well, segment 3.
Well, there's other teams on there, but I know you'll want to talk about the Packers for a while.
Injuries are not an excuse. I've seen people online, they want to make an excuse about how many injuries we had. The Lions had a whole pretty much hospital for their own team, and they didn't make excuses. Next man up, and look what they've still been able to do. So we'll get to that.
We will.
I hope we get T. Higgins or Max Crosby or Devontae Adams. Can't get all three because we don't have the money because our quarterback makes $55 million a year.
Makes a lot of money.
He makes $55 million a year.
That's right.
Could help out the homeless instead and give away some of that money because he's not worth that.
Man.
Sorry, we'll get to that.
Ooh, I love all this. This is great.
When we come back, if you missed our broadcast from Thursday night at Michigan Center, we will have some of the girls basketball highlights when we return on JTV. Welcome back here on JTV. I'm David Rice. That is Adam. Thank you to Pataki Orthodontics in Grass Lake and Hillsdale and Coldwater. Great smile is always in style, right? You can't go wrong with a good smile.
Can't go wrong.
So thank you to Pataki. Of course, we had the live game Thursday night at Michigan Center. Center came into it undefeated. Grass Lake handed them their first loss. Pictures from the game. Our photographer Sarah got a picture of me and Max doing the game. Actually,
Hey, nice.
And I think in the game we did before that, the last live sporting event we did, you made the gallery.
Did I? I didn't know that.
Oh,
Oh, geez. I'm going to have to look back at that.
but if you missed our highlights or the game from Thursday night, here are a few highlights. It's going to be Straub and Lape, and we are underway from Michigan Center. Starkey will have it first for the Warriors. Starkey gives to Vigeland for a corner three, and that one's cash.
That was clean by Vigeland out there on the corner.
And a rebound for Kate Starkey.
Didn't get her feet set on that.
Bullock on the fast break. Great pass to Vigeland, and it's 6-0 Warriors.
Looks like we have a block.
Here's Gaddy. Gonna find View, the freshman, for three in the corner.
David, for a freshman, that is a clean shot right there, answering Grass Lake three from earlier.
Averaging 12 points a game. Late the pass from Seltz, and an answer by the Warriors. Makes it 9-3. Gonna find Jarko for three, and that one's good. Makes it 12-3 Grass Lake.
And what a great find by our spotlight.
No whistle, here comes Meese on the other end. Gonna take it all the way, and the layup is good.
Trading fast breaks right there.
And that pass taken away by Bullock, and another turnover for the Cardinals. Starkey, nice Euro step and a finish.
Oh, just an amazing Euro step there from Starkey as they are moving the ball. If they don't, the ref will start counting, as you see there.
Got 10 seconds, Starkey with 9, with 8. Drives inside, and the layup is good.
Wanted the blocking foul, didn't get.
Inside to Meese, gonna turn around and score.
That's what Michigan Center needs to start doing. Get those quick, easy layups, quick points.
Reese Lape gonna push it up the floor, gives to Starkey. She'll shoot a three and hit. Back and forth, it's a 12-point game.
Late to Starkey is the lead.
Gaddy catch and shoot from the inbound and hits a three.
She does it herself back on the other end.
Fast breaking. Really, we've seen that from both teams already.
We have.
Nice drive inside and a 2 for Bree Saltz.
We've seen
Both teams some fouls, but great defense.
So we thought offense was going to be the main story here. Ooh, nice layup there.
And that 2 is good. 3:30 to play. It's a 13-point game. Gaddy for 3, and an assist from the freshman to the sophomore.
We have a timeout
To go with the left hand. Gives to Jarko, drives baseline, pump fake, too strong. Offensive rebound for Saltz.
There's just no Cardinals around there to get that rebound.
Down the court and reverse to Haley Meese.
Oh,
For
geez.
the rebound is Bullock. Grass Lake going right to left on your screen. Starkey for 2.
Yeah, just the speed of Starkey right there. David able to
Corner
get
3, no.
One of the first times that Starkey late connection hasn't paid off.
Straub catch and shoot. That one's good. The transfer from Grass Lake gets her first bucket.
Straub.
Offensive rebound. Allen for 3. That one's no good. Offensive rebound. A third chance. Meese up and around. Counted and a foul.
The crowd goes wild behind us there. This is what's going to try to force a turnover.
6 seconds. Starkey with 5, with 4. Gonna put up a long 3 and hits it. After 3 quarters, Kate Starkey and the Warriors with a 42-29 lead. 13, 5:10 left. Straub, high pass. Stays here, turnaround. That one's good. It's an 11-point game.
Excellent job.
They've trying to take a few extra seconds here. 4:15 to play. Gonna drive in and put up a floater. No. Offensive rebound by View. Back to her. Hits the 3. 8-point game.
View just put up a Torpedo Dallas enjoying that watching the Notre Dame game right now.
Gaddy for 3. 5-point game.
We're doing it, David. They're coming back. They're channeling. They got too comfortable, David. Did they get nonchalant with the big lead and it cost them?
Potentially. Layup inside. Floater, no. She got her own rebound. Counted and a foul.
Benches getting excited. Fans getting excited. This is what you love to see. Get a call.
Got to start fouling here soon. That's what they're trying to do now. Layup inside. No. Gets her own rebound and puts it up.
Oh, David.
And they are going to dribble this one out. Michigan Center came into this game 6-0. First place in the Cascades Conference. And their first loss to the year to their rival Grass Lake on their home court. 56-46 is your final score. A big win for Coach April Saltz and the Grass Lake Warriors. Welcome back here on JTV. I'm David. That's Adam. Of course, if you want pictures from the girls' game, again, online at jtv.tv. It's a great game. Of course, I'm going to watch Grass Lake Thursday play Leslie. Huge game, even bigger than the game against Center. And, for Center, of course, it impacts, the standings for the conference. But, it's they're still a really good team. Not taking anything away from them. You know what I mean? So, and they only lost by 10 to the number 1 team in the state. You can't complain, right? I would take that any day, really. If coming in not even close to that top 10 and you only lose to the number 1 team by 10 points.
Right, not bad.
We needed a lot more than 10 points yesterday.
I think you guys needed a miracle. Or Vince Lombardi to come back.
Can he come up from the dead, please?
Oh, no.
NFL playoffs kicked off this weekend. Besides the Washington game, none of them were really close.
Yeah, you're right.
The Texans, Herbert had 4 interceptions, and the Texans won. The Ravens dominated the Steelers. And again, the Steelers, they get that winning record, and then they lose in the first round.
But that's kind of what we figured with this team. This team wasn't anything special,
Right, but I feel like that's their ceiling expectation now each year's.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the playoffs. We know we're not, beating
Gotta
Josh
keep that
Allen
streak
or
alive.
Mahomes.
Yeah.
And then the Bills absolutely dominated Denver. When Denver went down right away and scored in that first drive, I was like, whoa.
It's like
This is going to be a game.
Yeah.
Will this rookie quarterback and Sean Payton actually upset here? And then
nope.
they didn't score the rest of the game. Washington won on the doink field goal at the end.
Barely got it in there.
Have you seen the video of Zane Gonzalez, their kicker, like nervous,
No, I didn't
sweating
see that. Really?
right before he went out for the kick?
Oh man.
Oh, you can just tell right on his face.
Really?
His heart just dropped as soon as he had to go out there.
No.
And then it curves right. He's got to be like his blood pressure's got to be extremely high right as the ball's curving, and then it hits the post and goes in.
He got it.
And then we had one more game, and the Eagles won.
Oh, okay. Well, you got to talk more about. You got to talk more about it than that. Get it all out. Get everything out for you. There you go.
Okay. First of all, we had mistakes right away from the very first play. The opening kickoff fumble, which, by the way, I'm not one to I shouldn't say I'm not the one to complain about officiating. I did when we lost to the Lions, but the officiating wasn't it in this game because they just completely got outplayed. No doubt about that. But that very first opening kickoff was a missed call. That was a direct helmet-to-helmet hit, and then the ball got knocked out. And if you look at it from really all the different angles they showed, crown to crown, helmet to helmet hit. Missed call there. It would have given Green Bay 15 more yards, and they would have still had the ball. And who knows, maybe they would have scored on that drive or a field goal. And then the next drive, we miss a field goal. So that's already potentially 10 points taken away. Jordan Love had 3 interceptions in this game.
That's a problem.
Our receiving core leads the league in the most drops.
Wow. Yeah, that's not great.
Love hadn't thrown. He started off the year not good, and he was injured. And then the last 7 games of the regular season, he had no interceptions. First round of the playoffs, 3. For a team, this team last year, the expectation for them was that it was going to be more of a regress year, a rebuild year, because Jordan Love, it was his first full year starting. We really, other than Watson, Aaron Jones was there, but the rest of the receiving core was like, okay, who are these guys?
Right.
And our defense wasn't as good as it was this year, and still ended up going on a run the back half of the season, putting up 50 in the wild card game, and then in historical fashion, losing to the 49ers in the playoffs.
Yep.
Just like always. And an interception on the last drive, just like always. Then after that, last year, they paid Jordan Love. They believed in him. He makes $55 million a year. Does Jared Goff make that much? No.
No, I don't think so.
And the Lions, I hate to say this. You're going to be happy I'm going to say this, but if they beat the Eagles, the Lions are winning the Super Bowl. That's the only thing in their way is the Eagles.
You think so?
Yes. Unless if they play Buffalo, then.
Yeah, Buffalo might be a problem.
The Lions, who are the favorite to me to win the Super Bowl, and Jared Goff is making, 20-something, I think, a year?
Well, I will let you know that take a guess. How on the list of highest paid quarterbacks, where do you think Jordan Love ranks?
Number 3?
Whoa, number 3. That is correct.
Because Mahomes won, right? Burrow's one?
Dak is 1.
Oh, I forgot it. That's horrible.
Trevor Lawrence is 2. And Jordan Love is 3.
I thought Mahomes had that like $500 million deal, no?
He is, so this is based on average per year, and he's 11th.
Oh, you know what? Because his contract's like 9 years.
If you go by total value, so like the total value of the contract, he's number 1. But
that's what I was
average
going
per
by.
year, he's less.
Okay. Because Mahomes deals, what, 9 or 10 years?
It's a long contract. Yeah, I mean, like, if you went in total value, though, like, you would have to go pretty far down on the list to be able to find
Love.
Yeah.
But total value, Mahomes 1, right?
Yep.
Burrow 2.
Yep. He gets 3.
Dak 3.
Think didn't make the playoffs. Quarterback that didn't make the playoffs.
Oh, that could be Trevor Lawrence.
Yes, Trevor Lawrence is 3. Yeah, and then Herbert 4, Lamar 5, and Allen and Hurts.
Herbert's understandable, maybe not 4, but Lamar, why is he the 5th highest paid quarterback? He's the best quarterback
awesome.
in the NFL.
I know, he's awesome. Getting paid $55 a year.
Anyways, they paid Jordan Love almost $55 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
So the expectation, unexpectedly, until coming into this year, is now high based on what they did last year. Okay, now the expectation is on you. We just paid you. You got to play like that number. And he got injured in the very first game. Malik Willis starts the next 2 games. By the way, he's a starter himself. I know he played for the Titans and it wasn't great, but also that's because he played for the Titans. He started 3 games for Green Bay, and they went 3-0 in those games.
Yeah.
He played fairly decent. Now, it was a lot of run heavy because, we upgraded from Aaron Jones to Josh Jacobs. But still, you had good numbers. So Jordan Love gets hurt twice this year, and Malik Willis starts those games. And Green Bay ends up finishing 1-5 in the division.
Yeah.
The very last game of the year, they
That's
lose to the Bears.
They shouldn't have lost that game. That should have been a sign of what was about to
Well,
happen.
and you know how the Bears season went.
Yeah.
Just awful. And then they lose in the first round to Philly. Now coming in, Philly was the favorite.
And we talked. You thought they were going to lose, but you just didn't think it was going to be this showing.
Right. I thought it'd be a little bit more competitive. Yeah. I said during the break, or while we were showing the highlights, I said at least it wasn't 50-7 at halftime.
That's
like
right.
I said it was going to be. And I wrote down on my paper injuries. There's people on like different pages and groups and stuff that I look at or follow. The injuries is not an excuse.
Yeah.
Because I mentioned earlier, you know how many injuries the Lions have had this year, and they still finish 15-2, and next man up, no excuse. They did their job. They came up because of injury, the next man up, and they did their job right. Injuries are never an excuse to me. Christian Watson in the Bears game, out for the year. Romeo Doubs, hurt against the Eagles. Heath, hurt. I believe it was Jaden Reed, too, the third receiver, hurt. So, also today, Keyshawn Nixon, who returns kicks and is cornerback 1, because Jair Alexander, which I'll get to in a minute. Keyshawn Nixon today was asked, today's the last day they clean out their locker for the year, and it's still another locker room media availability. They asked him, how was the first year at this new kickoff? He said, I'm not returning kicks next year.
Ooh.
So he's going to be just corner. And then Jair Alexander was in the building today. He hasn't played all year, like the first 2 or 3 games. They asked him about it. He actually said, I don't know if I'm going to be here next year or if I want to be here next year. So I don't want to talk to you guys.
Sounds like dysfunction. That's what it sounds like. So are you calling for the firing of Matt LaFleur?
Yeah, and I think a lot of other people are too. Because of the expectation going into this year based on how unexpectedly last year went. Okay, we knew the Lions were on the come up, but obviously nobody expected Minnesota to be as good as they were. But just take them out for a second. Besides the Lions, and who knew they were going to go from that 8-9 or from the NFC Championship to even a better season this year, right? But
yeah,
other than the Lions, every year Green Bay's the expectation is for them to win the North because that's what's happened from 2013 to now every single year,
right?
Maybe besides one, but and then you finish 1-5 in division and you lose your first playoff game,
right?
Again, this is year 6 for Matt LaFleur, and they have only won, I believe, 2 playoff games in these 6 years.
Yeah, that's not.
Where does the accountability come in? Right? Because some people just want to blame the players. Oh, they didn't play well or injuries. Special teams has been an issue all year. They missed a field goal yesterday in the playoff game. They brought in McManus because they needed a veteran good kicker who could provide stability, and he did. He only missed like 2 kicks this year, 3. He was still good. But the kicks he missed were when it mattered most. That's why they brought him in. And he missed a kick. Plus, if we would have scored on that opening drive instead of fumbling in the opening kickoff, like I mentioned earlier, that's 10 missed points. They lost by 12. There was a missed pass interference call on the last drive as well. It was already garbage time, but missed there. Had they would have gotten a field goal there, 13 missed points. Green Bay lost by 12. The Packers are interested, and they're going to talk with T. Higgins once free agency opens. That a report that came out today from Bleacher Report and Yahoo and ESPN.
I bet you he's going to fetch a lot of money.
Yes. Devontae Adams has also said he's not ruling out a return to the Raiders or the Packers.
I don't think you'd want him back in Green Bay.
Not with our locker room and our coach right now, no. People are also wanting Max Crosby to come to Green Bay.
Well, of course, of course.
He's been, rumored with the Lions now for a while. And really this whole, because after Jair Alexander got hurt this year, we didn't even hear from him. Okay, he might come back next week. A couple of the games he was questionable, and then right before the game, he's not playing. Shocker, right? Mm-hmm. This has been happening since Zadarius Smith got hurt with Green Bay a couple years ago. Whatever's going on with the training staff, all of a sudden players get hurt for Green Bay, and they're out for the year or almost the year. We don't hear from them either. With Zadarius Smith, that happened. Jair Alexander this year. Like, whenever he got hurt, I don't remember what game it was, he was done. He didn't come back and then get hurt again or rested. But it's the self mistakes. Also, clock management. It happened a couple times yesterday, and it's happened several times throughout the year. Obviously not as bad as, the Chicago Bears clock management. That's why they won like 4 games. But so many things. And we have so many free agents coming up in March. I believe 4 or 5 linemen, either Kraft or Musgrave. One of our tight ends is a free agent as well. I will say the couple bright spots this year, upgrading from Aaron Jones to Josh Jacobs. That was huge. And getting the best safety in the league, Xavier McKinney, from the Giants. The Giants got rid of McKinney. They got rid of Saquon Barkley. Good for them, right?
And then they are one of the worst teams in football. There you go.
Mm-hmm. A lot's got to change. We need a true wide receiver 1 because we don't have one. We need a new coach.
So are you calling for a fire? Like, are you calling for tear
Yes.
it down and start over again?
Yeah. Because going into last season, I thought it was going to be a rebuild record type year. I'm fine with that next year. If that's what we got to do, clean house, love, and we start over another year, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm not looking forward to right now, at least to next year, because it's going to be the same garbage that we've seen. Now you might say 11-6. Why is that a mediocre year? Because since Lombardi or before, you go way back, the expectation in Green Bay is to win the division and win playoff games, right? That's the bottom line. And they won 11 games, but you finished 1-5 in the division, and one of those losses was to the Bears, this year's Bears team. And then you lose in the first round in the worst performance I've seen from them seriously in a long time. Where do they go from here? I don't want to sound like the whole world's falling apart, but it is. We need to. It needs to be a clean house.
It is for a Packers fan.
Clean house. If we win 4 or 5 games next year, it is what it is. It's the same garbage every year at this time, so
right.
It doesn't matter. We need somebody to help Rashawn Gary and Kenny Clark on the D line. We need another corner. We need to get rid of Jair Alexander. We'll need to trade one of our receivers to get a T. Higgins or a Devontae if we don't pick him up in free agency. So a lot needs to happen, and we need a new kick returner and a new punt returner because both Jaden Reed and Nixon have dropped several of them.
And a new kicker.
Probably. Can we get a whole new team,
There you go.
please?
I think the XFL might have some teams left over for you guys. Some players.
Jake Bates came from the
That's
XFL.
right.
Can we have
he's
another
money.
Jake Bates like?
He's money.
So, it's the same garbage every year at this time. I don't know why I get so upset every year at this time because I know what's going to happen. Now when they beat Dallas and scored 50 points, nobody expected that. But then you play the Niners next round and it's the same thing.
Right. That was a good Niners team, though.
Yeah, but that's what's happened with Green Bay the last 4 or 5 years.
Just ran into the champs.
Well,
at least,
and then the Niners, the next game is Super Bowl, and they lose again to Kansas City.
Right. Can't seem to be Kansas City.
Yeah, somehow their devil referee magic is going to get them
continues.
a three-peat this year.
No, not if the Lions have anything to say about it.
If it's a Lions-Chiefs Super Bowl, I swear, I hope the Lions beat the Chiefs.
Wow.
I know you would think I would never say
Yeah.
that, but because it's against Kansas City, I would be so happy to see all the Chiefs fans and all the Travis and Taylor fans just so upset that they finally lost and nothing gets their way. I would be happy. I'd be happier on that than what's happening to my team. So that's it. That's it.
Do you feel better?
No, not at all.
Oh, darn it.
No. I want to punch a hole in the walls, what I want to do.
Oh, no.
When we come back, we will take a look at our live January schedule. We have a lot of great games still coming up this month here on JTV, so stay tuned. Welcome back here on JTV. I'm David Rice. Thank you to the Insurance Circle Agency. Real quick, I'm glad we don't have a live game on Monday the 20th, the day of the national championship.
That is nice. I know Pat O'Dowd's happy about that.
That's where I was going. Great win for Notre Dame over Penn State. Lower scoring for most of the game. But a good win for Notre Dame.
Yeah, they hung in there and they got the dub. Good for them.
And then a guy named Jack Sawyer redeemed himself for
Oh, my
Ohio
goodness,
State and
what a
made
play.
the play of a lifetime. first of all, that play call, a toss to the left at that spot, is what set the rest of it up.
Wow.
That's horrible. I thought Matt LaFleur was bad.
Oh.
That play call was horrible. It cost them, obviously, their season.
Right.
If you want to go to JTV.tv, you can check out our Hearn Family Chiropractic Scholar Athlete of the Week. Each week as well on the Locker Room Show, we highlight a athlete here in Jackson County who also is excelling and doing an excellent job in the classroom as well. So our Hearn Family Chiropractic Scholar Athletes of the Week available. You can watch the few that we've done so far online at JTV.tv and Jeff Steers Saturday Spotlight presented by Picture This Jackson as well. So, and you can subscribe to your favorite school for how much?
Free. Oh, yeah, 0.0.
Free 99.
Free 99.
That's how much our coach is worth and our quarterback. Free 99. And here's the rest of our January schedule for high school basketball. Of course, we'll be at Lumen this Friday. Girls taking on Divine Child. Boys taking on Macomb Lutheran. And then next Tuesday, we'll be back at Michigan Center for the boys taking on Hanover Horton. And then both teams that lost to Grass Lake already. And then next Friday, we'll be back at J-High for a huge game, must win for them for the conference as they take on a really good Chelsea team who was ranked in the top 5 in Division II in the state. So big game for Chelsea against Jackson High. And then we'll be back to cover the Titans on Monday the 27th as they take on the Mounties from Northwest. Former conference rival Northwest, now a non-conference game. So that's the rest of our January schedule here on JTV, thanks to Minuteman Sewer and Drain and M&K. So for anything you missed today, of course, you can always like us on Facebook. Check out our page, jtv.tv. Go back and watch old episodes. And, so Ohio State, Notre Dame. Early predictions, really quick.
Ohio State's the real heavy favorite in that game. So you got to think it's Ohio State.
As much as it pains us to say that.
I know. You got to think it's Ohio State.
There's a lot of Buckeye fans now who are completely saying, that Michigan game didn't matter because look where they're at now.
It mattered to both teams. I can tell you that. I can tell you who it mattered to. Maybe it didn't matter.
Trust me, when they both start fighting
year,
again on the field next year, it matters.
Yeah.
So Michigan beat the national champions when they beat Notre Dame.
If they beat Notre Dame, yeah. I think Notre Dame still has a shot. I think it's still worth it looking at Notre Dame. I think they're plus 300, plus 400. That's still worth it. It's one game, and they're both really good teams. So
Michigan will beat either the runner-up or the national champion.
That's right.
So
that's right.
So you got to feel pretty good, right?
Yeah. Not bad there.
At least it's one football team I root for that actually does something successful.
You got one.
Can't wait to be back in the big house on Saturdays, though, because it's nothing like it. At least we don't have to play Texas in the second game.
That's right.
So Texas, actually plays Ohio State in week 2 of the regular season.
Whoa.
And coming off this game. But it's going to be two very different teams because they're not. Texas isn't going to have Ewers or
they'll have Manning though,
Blue or any of their big pieces they have this year. They'll have Manning, and then Ohio State will still have Jeremiah Smith. I don't know if they're going to have Will Howard or not, but Henderson's going to the NFL, so they're going to have just Smith really. That's about it, I think. So, two very different teams. Still going to be a good game in that second week. So
I'm excited to watch it.
Michigan does have to play Central Michigan, though, instead of Texas.
That sounds good to me.
And Alex Orji transferred to UNLV.
That's right. In Vegas. That's cool.
Yeah. Ask Noah Baker his thoughts.
Yeah, you should.
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
So... All right, anytime subscribe to your favorite school, jtb.tv, and tomorrow night, got to be there or tune in at J-High against Pinckney. The Pirates and the Vikings are going to square off at 7 o'clock. So thanks for watching, listening. We'll talk to you on Hump Day.